Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
Now back to ringside with the voice of small business and the champion of the entrepreneur.
Say it now, gentlemen. Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
The small business advocate, Jim Blasingame.
Welcome back, 34 after the hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for being part of my day. My pleasure, as always, to continue to be with you. We got our good friend, our dear friend, longtime original founding member of our Brain Trust, Barbara Weltman, back on the show. Barbara's one of my favorite people on the planet, one of the smartest people you'll meet, the author of the outstanding new book, Tax Tips and Planning, for Small Business Tax Tips and Planning for 2012. She is the world's expert on small business taxes. And the good news is she's our good friend. Barbara, welcome back.
Thank you so much. J.K. Lasser's Small Business Taxes.
That's it, J.K. Lasser's Small Business Taxes and Planning for 2012. Hey, Barbara, there's an opportunity there for that book to really get some traction, and folks can vote for that, can't they? They can go and tell us how they can do that.
Well, they can do that just going to my website, barbaraweltman.com, and clicking on the vote box in the middle of my homepage. It's the Small Business Book Awards for 2012, and it was nominated in the category of economics.
Right. So check it out, folks. Give her a little like her up there, love her up there a little bit. Barbara, what's new? What do we need to know about taxes for?
It seems late night.
Most people haven't filed 2011 yet.
Well, that's absolutely true. First, I just think it's interesting to note that late last night, it seems like Congress agreed on the extension of the payroll tax cut for the rest of the year. Right. So the good news for small business owners is the fact that they don't have to change their withholding again. So whatever they've been doing for the first 2 months, they'll be able to continue for the rest of the year. So that'll simplify things a little bit for people. And owners that are self-employed, they get the benefit of this cut as well. So that's pretty good.
Well, that's exactly right. The good news is not only that we don't have to change, but we don't have to worry about changing it, which is what we've had to do for about a month and a half or 2 months, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's not signed, sealed, and delivered, but 99% of it should get done before, hopefully by tomorrow. As regards to taxes for 2011, when you're preparing your return, I think the big issue for many small business owners if they look at their return or if they've received the Form 1099-K, that's a little upsetting, troubling, confusing because it's a brand new information return that they've received. The good news is that the IRS has said that they don't have to, and let me just mention, the 1099-K is a form that's issued by your credit card processor, payroll, Amazon, whoever's processing your payments. And it is broken down month by month according to your gross transactions. In other words, the gross amount that was swiped on the credit card. Right. Regardless of the fact that you might have kept less amount, maybe you had to give cash back, maybe through eBay you made a partial donation of what you collected. So the good news is the IRS has said you don't have to worry about reconciling your gross receipts with that 1099. You just report as you usually would your gross receipts from your sales.
Right, and these are, imagine you and I talking when you and I started working together back in '98. We couldn't imagine that we'd be talking about getting a 1099-K 13, 14 years later. Think about how the tax code has had to evolve for e-commerce.
Well, that's absolutely true, but I recall when I spoke at one of the eBay conventions a number of years ago, I got a question from somebody who came up to the mic and said, this year I'm going to earn 7 figures. Do I have to report my income? And so you understand where the government is coming from. People thought that if it was online, it was sort of invisible,
Right.
And didn't count his income.
And that guy's doing 20 without parole right now. By the way,
I don't know, but you could understand why the government. Yeah, you could understand why the government thought it was a good idea to have an information return for these folks.
Well, the bottom line for the 1099-K is that that make sure that it's going to be gross, and when you get one of those, make sure that you've identified the things that need to be taken out of it, right?
Right, absolutely. That you don't want to over-report your income.
Right.
And that's I think the key there.
BarbaraWeltman.com is the website. That's how you can go and find her. Go check out her book. If you get a chance, it's up for an award. It's so justified, folks. The wonderful work that Barbara does for you to keep you posted on small business. So go give her a little love and make a recommendation of her book, and it'll be good for everybody. It's 20 till. We're going to be right back with Barbara Weltman. I'm Jim Blasingame. Stay with me.
Got a black magic woman.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved.